What is up guys, it's Cal, and as this Legion is coming to a close, I think now is the perfect opportunity to share with everyone where to get the 3 hidden appearances for the 3 Death Knight artifact weapons. Especially since many of you probably pre-ordered Battle for Azeroth, meaning you got a free 110 boost. Now I want to be clear with something, and I made a mistake talking about this point where I showed where to get all the rogue hidden artifact appearances. These hidden artifact appearances are still going to be able to be acquired once BFA comes out. Battle for Azeroth is not getting rid of them. The only artifact appearances that BFA is getting rid of are the Mage Tower scenario appearances from the Broken Shores and the Mythic plus 15 artifact appearance. Now what are these hidden artifact appearances? What constitutes as an artifact appearance that is hidden? Well, there's one of these appearances for every spec in the game, and they require you to complete a certain task, completely dependent on your spec. You'll see what I mean by task in a minute. It's just more than, as I mentioned, simply completing a Mythic plus 15, or getting to a certain PvP prestige level. And now, let's get started. Blood Death Knights. Where to get the Blood Death Knight artifact appearance? You have a chance to get this from the Withered Army scenario in Suramar. First thing you need to do, in case you are fresh 110, you need to do the beginning Suramar quests to unlock the scenario. Next thing you want to do is get at least 400 ancient mana to start the scenario. The more ancient mana, the better, since you'll be able to start with more Withered in the scenario. The best place I found to farm ancient mana is the Vineyard area towards the north of Suramar City. Just track ancient mana and you'll see the icons on your map. The things to pick up are random vials and flowers which are very faintly lit by purple. Now once you have at least 400, then go back to Thalisra and you can start. You can only do this like once every couple of days or something, someone's probably going to correct me on that. But anyways, how the scenario works. You have at least 8 Withered following you at the beginning, and you'll kill enemies in the scenario to progress through, and this will increase your score at the top. Now this is important knowledge. The score at the top has no correlation to your chance of getting the Hidden Blood artifact appearance. No correlation at all. All the score does is that it correlates to how much Nightfall and rep you'll get when the scenario is over. Now what does matter on your chances of getting this artifact appearance are the amount of chests that you pick up through the scenario. All these chests can contain the appearance, plus the big glimmering chest you get no matter what at the end for even attempting it. So the best strategy for this, if you've never ran this scenario before, or this might be your second or third time, do not pick up the first chest you see, because they cost 5 or 10 Withered to acquire those chests. There are various doors that you can open in the scenario which usually require you to have 10 Withered to open them. Now these doors will not take 10 of your Withered. You just need at least that many Withered to get into them. Now there are some doors that require you to have like 2 Berserker Withered or whatever. That's for later on, because at the end of the scenario you can get upgrades to your Withered for future times you run the scenario. So if you come across a door that asks that, just ignore it. Now these chests are a one-time thing. What I mean by that is if you pick up a chest costing 5 or 10 Withered, that chest will not be there the next time you do this scenario. So it's a good idea to try your best to get as far through as you can, then spend your Withered picking up the chests in the later part of the scenario. But you definitely don't want your Withered to die. Like if you come up to this dude named the Elf Breaker and you aren't very well geared and you don't have a lot of Withered, turn back now. So with all that being said, spend your Withered to pick up these chests. The scenario ends once your Withered are all gone, then all the chests you pick up plus the giant participation chest will be sitting there for you to open, and the Hidden Blood artifact appearance can come out of any of these. Remember, the final score that appears at the top of your screen doesn't matter at all. Now if you've done a ton of these scenarios and you know you've acquired all the chests in the scenario, then you're better off just spending the 400 ancient mana to attempt it and just getting it over with as soon as possible, so you get ported to the bigger participation chest. I actually got my artifact appearance after doing this scenario for I think like 4 times. It may have been 3 or 4, and that is what it looks like. Also, you do not have to be in Blood spec or Blood loot spec for this. I did it in Unholy. Next, for Frost Death Knights. Now you can actually get this hidden artifact appearance one of 2 ways. First off, if the Soul Taker's world boss is currently active for the week, then you're in good shape. Just head to them, kill them in a group or whatever, and you'll get your artifact appearance. If they aren't, however, then the artifact appearance has a chance to drop from the 4 Horsemen in the Naxxramas raid, or from certain bosses in Icecrown Citadel. The difficulty doesn't matter. 2 bosses in ICC that have been confirmed to drop it are Deathbringer Saurfang and the Lich King, probably because they're both Death Knights. If it dropped on any other boss for you, I'd like to know, I'm curious. But as far as how rare it is from them, I don't really know. I mean, ever since I think it was 7.2.5, they increased the drop rates for all these things, but I personally ran ICC like 2 or 3 times and it didn't drop for me, so I ended up getting it from the Soul Taker's world boss. Also, you do not have to be in Frost spec for this to drop. Now for the Unholy artifact appearance. This is an interesting one. well, more interesting than the other two at least. There's going to be a script that I'm going to paste in either the description or the comment section. If you copy and paste the script into the chat box and it prints out true, then you're good. If it doesn't, then this is what you need to do. Head to the Proving Grounds on your Death Knight from this NPC right here. Make a macro for that script I posted. Now what it will do is when you press it, it will auto speak to the Pandaren to start a Proving Grounds match, and it will then cast Army of the Dead. You want to run up to the first NPC you see and cast Festering Strike about twice to build up Festering Wounds on the target. Then use that macro again and it will cast Apocalypse. Then run back to the Pandaren NPC, click on him, and press the macro again. Now let me run through that again. Click on the Pandaren, press the macro to start the match and cast Army of the Dead. Festering Wounds your target twice, press the macro again to cast Apocalypse, run back to the Pandaren NPC and click on him. Then press the macro again to end the match. And when you end the match, it will reset your cooldowns. Now why are you doing this exactly? Well, one of the ghouls you summon is supposed to say the phrase, "Why have I been brought back to fight for you?" Now once one of them says that, then you're good to move on to the next part. And it should start printing out true in the chat box. I was actually doing this for about 30 minutes, not realizing that true meant I was good, because since I've been playing my DK a bit, I already had a ghoul summon from when I was out in the world at some point, which said that phrase and I didn't know it. So anyways, the next part. You want to head to the Icecrown Citadel raid. Difficulty doesn't matter, and you want to head to Professor Putreside's room. Remember, you do have to kill Rotface and Festergut, then activate the 2 levers in their room to get to Putreside. In Putreside's room, there will be a trap door that you can click on, and it will bring you into a cavern. Then you just want to fight your way through the cavern. Most of the enemies have about 1 million health, some have 5 million, and you'll fight your way all the way to Stitchwork, which once you kill him, he'll drop the Bone Reaper's Hook, which is the hidden Unholy artifact appearance. And once again, you do not have to be an Unholy for this to drop. And that is what it looks like. It's a pretty neat looking hook. And there you have it, guys. Those are all the hidden Death Knight artifact appearances. Now just to reiterate, these are not going away in the next expansion. It's just you might forget about them when the next expansion comes out with all the new things being added. So why not get it now? If you guys like this video, you can leave a like on it, sub to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.